So looking further underneath, I'll start above the bumper again, going across, because you may see some more of the rock chips. Again, they've all been touched up, so there is no chips that are vulnerable to getting moisture or water or any other contaminants underneath it. And again, a professional detailer shouldn't have any problem touching these up with the paint that I will provide. Moving under, you'll see that this is pristine underneath here. I think there's one spot, right, will not focus. One spot right there is the only chip underneath here. The back sides of the bumpers have been painted just to inhibit rust. You can see here one of the spots that was repaired, filling the holes for the overriders. Those bubbles are not rust bubbles. That's just where the paint that I put on there didn't stick real good. Same thing with those. This is not rust. And again, there's a spot that was repaired for the overrider. Going underneath the car, just a quick glimpse of this. There's several pictures of the underbody. You probably don't need to see that again. I will point out that these front shocks that are on here currently are not Koni shocks. I painted them to match the rear ones. These are a lowered aftermarket shock. I discovered that the Koni shocks were a little too long in the lowered position and they were bottoming out. So I had to put these on. I have since raised the car up at least an inch using these adjusters here. So it may be possible that you could reinstall the adjustable Koni shocks. They will be included in the sale, and I'll show you those in a minute. Again, I mentioned earlier that the pan has a bed liner coating on it. This was all done when the body was off of the pan, and they did a really nice job on it. I did this coating not to cover any flaws, but I wanted to protect it and also sound deaden it. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I will definitely do this with any future VWs that I do that wouldn't be an original restoration job, obviously. Just really helped. I will point out the one area of rust on the original pan. This is all original pans. The pan halves are original. Is this section right here. Right around this area here had some Swiss cheese spots in it. They were very small, so small that I chose to just take a MIG welder and spend a couple hours just filling and grinding and preserving the original pan. But other than that, the whole rest of the pan was in perfect shape. If you look at you can tell the bed liner is not hiding anything. You can tell by the shadows in this thing. You can see where this one here is not as perfect as the other one in that area that I pointed out. But the rest of these pan halves is just beautiful. This was definitely either a California car or a very very dry climate. Move into the back. This is the oil cooler. We made a custom mount for it to package it up as high as possible out of the way. As you can see, the fan itself only sticks down maybe a ½ inch to an inch below the pan half, so it's very safe there. Plumbed up and over to the oil filter that is rebuildable, serviceable, so you can inspect it for any suspicious material. This mount was custom made to incorporate the Berg mid mount with the stock front nose mount, because the later Berg nose cones do not include a front nose mount. So we came up with this design to incorporate the front nose of the transmission to help plant it and hold it solid under a hard launch, and it works very well. It's the only one of its kind. Also wanted to point out the rear end. Mentioned in the description that the back of the car, the trailing arms have been narrowed 1 inch on each side. And the way that that was done was by taking this race here, which originally, if you look at this groove was originally here where this weld is. So just imagine this whole bearing race being moved outwards 1 inch. And so the trailing arm was cut and trimmed to remove 1 inch of the outside of that trailing arm and filled. And haven't had a single problem with it. Works great. Other things of note, if you look up above, you'll see this truss bar that triangulates the shock mounts with the back of the frame horns to help with wheel hop and provide firm launches. The coil is mounted back behind the engine. That's a secondary fuel filter. There's also a fuel filter under the front. I can show that real quick if there's enough light. This is behind the front beam, the firewall. And you can see the filter there diagonally. That goes, I'm sorry, the pump is diagonal and it curves around and goes to the filter and then transitions to the tunnel. And it's too dark to really see that.